Hey guys, this is Tom with cellphonetrek.com, and today I have the HTC Sensation 4G versus the Evo 3D comparison. Very similar devices with just a few differences, but those few differences really separate the two phones. We're going to go over those here in this little heads-up battle of ours. So basically, if I don't answer anything in the video, just go ahead and hit us up in the comments below, and we'll be more than happy to try to answer your questions, or hit us up on Twitter at cellphonetrek.com, or at cellphonetrek, not .com, but at cellphonetrek. Cellphonetrek.com is where you can get all the latest news and reviews, and facebook.com/cellphonetrek. We're giving away an iPad 2 at the end of July. Enter the sweepstakes, and you could possibly be the winner. Pretty simple stuff. Now that I have that out of the way, let's get to the review. So here we go. Not really a review, more of a comparison. We have the Sensation here on the left and the Evo 3D on the right. Both by HTC, both launching within 2 weeks of each other, both on two totally different carriers. We have T-Mobile on the left and Sprint on the right. Let's get some of the physical characteristics out of the way. The Evo 3D is just a hair bit bigger in every dimension than the Sensation. It's just a little bit wider, a little bit taller, and a little bit thicker. Reason it's thicker is we have this very flush mounted 8 megapixel autofocus camera with dual LED flash versus this raised up much larger dual 5 megapixel camera with dual LED flash for your 3D filming capabilities. Obviously, if we were doing a 3D versus 3D device, obviously the 3D wins. It's pretty simple. You have your power keys located actually on the same spot. We'll hold them right next to each other. Your power keys are both on the top, 3.5mm headset jacks, but as you can tell here, very bulky. Now some people like this more streamlined unibody aluminum construction. This is a rubberized soft touch coating on the bottom and the top, and this is the aluminum unibody construction. How to take this off is a little tricky at first, but once you learn it, you just pop that out, pull the phone out, and lift this up. Now by doing that, this right here, these are all the antenna contacts. You're gonna go into a no service mode. As you can see, I've lost all service. Eventually it'll kick in. Now what's interesting is here's your 8 gigabyte, I'm sorry, I cannot talk today. 8 gigabyte micro SD card versus the 8 gigabyte micro SD card that's inside the, we're going to just leave that open. We're going to take out the Evo 3D as well. And taking it out, it's always better to go right here to the right. Phone pops right out. Now we have an aluminum body construction versus this plastic backing construction. However, both phones do have a metal facing in the front. Now, as you can see, we have your SIM card here, no SIM card here. Your Wimax technology doesn't require a SIM card like LTE. You can remove your micro SD card from right here without removing the battery, which is a 1520 mAh battery versus a 1730. Both lasted throughout the day right at the same time. This phone takes just a little bit more juice to run when you're playing around with the 3D throughout the day, but without having to use the 3D, if the 1520 mAh battery lasts all day, just like the 1730 lasts the Evo all day, and I'm talking a good 10-hour chunk of time. Now, to remove your micro SD card, you actually do have to remove the battery, which is kind of a bummer, but if you're not a micro SD card swapper like myself, you just pop maybe 8 gigabytes, plenty enough for taking pictures and videos and a little bit of music and stuff, especially when you can, with 4G speeds, you can download and stream music from YouTube or using apps like Pandora and things like that. Or if you're over there in Europe, you can do other things with at least the Sensation. You can get like Spotify or Rhapsody, things like that. So, but as you can tell, here's a behind the hood kind of look at what you're kind of dealing with. The phones are just a little bit off. This is 0.08 ounces heavier. So we'll go ahead and put this phone back in its little cubby here. But as you can tell, the speaker, the whole phone just comes right out. Now we do have a forward-facing camera here on the front for video chat, but it's a 0.3 megapixel camera with an 8 in the back, and you have a 1.3 megapixel forward-facing camera right there. And that's nice, a little bit better quality, a little bit better video chat capabilities. I didn't really go over that in the review, but it is a larger camera here in the front. So now that we've got them back, get over here. Both are running HTC Sense 3.0 user interface. So you're both going to have your, you know, your notifications are going to be same. You have your quick settings. You have your application shortcut bar up in here. So it's real nice. It's like, oh, I don't need to, you know, have it saved on my home screen. If I was just playing a game and then the phone called, I can just open up the applications. I can just drop down, open up my Angry Birds and be done with it. So, you know, user interface is very similar. Some of the main differences right here real quick is the HTC Sensation can film in 1080p HD. We'll bring that up here real quick. Bring up the camera like so, bring up the camera like so. You know, your 8 megapixel versus your 5 megapixel, obviously you're gonna be a little bit clearer. Let's switch into video record mode and bring up, there we go. Bring up your video quality. You have, you know, your QHD, you have HD, which is 720p, and then you have full HD, which is your 1080p. And you have that right, and unfortunately you go over here into your video quality, you have QHD and you max out at 720p. Now I'm sure this is going to be easily fixed in some type of service update from HTC or Sprint. Initially it said that the Evo 3D was to launch with 1080p video recording capability, however it didn't. So even though 3D is available and it should win the camera category, I'm gonna have to say the HTC Sense with an 8 megapixel and 1080p is definitely a winner. And 4G speeds comparison, to save you the time, HSPA Plus is faster than Wimax. It's just their theoretical speeds are faster. In our tests, they were faster. So it's a faster 4G device. However, if you're talking price comparison, your T-Mobile bill is going to be, if you were to have unlimited calling, text, and data, it's going to be much more expensive than your Sprint bill, which unlimited text, data, and calling, it's much cheaper on the Sprint Now network. However, I did see a bigger comparison. I mean, 4Gs, you know, were just a little bit faster, but in 3G data speeds, we did see a much better 3G data speed with your T-Mobile, and you have Wi-Fi calling capabilities as well, which definitely put the Sensation ahead of itself. Now, RAM-wise, you have 1 gigabyte of RAM inside the 3D and 768 megabytes of RAM and the Sensation, and that really showed in our day-to-day usage. That carousel effect as well, just a little bit, as you can tell, smoother graphics, smoother everything on the Evo 3D. So overall, day-to-day usage with the quickness, I'm gonna have to say the Evo 3D is a little bit better of a device. It also has 4 gigabytes of memory built in versus the 1 gigabyte of memory. So that's another thing. You have to believe me on this. We ran full benchmark tests on the 3D versus Sensation 4G, and the Sensation just squeaked under the Evo 3D. The Evo 3D was pulling in the 2300s, and we were getting 2200s with the Sensation. So even with all the other applications. Now you go here into the applications, Evo 3D does have the Green Hornet movie in 3D available to play right out of the box. You do have HTC Hub on both and things like that, but you know, it was a little, you know, there's no, you know, pre-downloaded content like that. So for pre-downloaded content, even with the Sprint bloatware that's on here, the applications are removable, so that's pretty nice. And overall, very, very good devices. Definitely have to say that personally, if I had to choose between the two devices, I like T-Mobile. Even though it's a little more expensive, I have to say the Sensation is a better device. Even though the Sprint Evo 3D has the 3D capability, is a much faster phone and much nicer device, When it comes to actually using the device with data speeds, I just, in our area personally, you know, Wimax isn't that strong compared to the HSPA plus market that we have in here. I'm getting, you know, anywhere between 6, 7, 8 megabits per second download speeds, 4 or 5 megabits per second upload speeds with my, you know, the T-Mobile device. And the best I'm pulling over here is fours and ones with the Evo 3D. Again, I'm Tom with Cell Phone Trek. I want to say thanks for watching. Check out our other reviews and comparisons on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel if you can. Check us out at cellphonetrek.com, the website. Read our full reviews on the Evo 3D or the Sensation or other phones such as the Atrix 4G for AT&T. I want to say go to our Facebook page again, like us, enter our sweepstakes, possibly be the winner of our iPad 2 giveaway at the end of July. At Cell Phone Trek is our Twitter handle. Follow us there. Hit us up with any tweets or just see what we're tweeting. We usually like to throw up the good news stories of the day on there and put up random cell phone fact information that we find hilarious. So I want to say thanks for watching. I hope you have yourself a great day.